Ibrahim ibn Yaqub, a Sephardic Jew from Tortosa in the Caliphate of Córdoba, a merchant, a traveler, or a Muslim spy in Christian Europe. Not much is known about him, but one thing is certain. He left behind a priceless account of his journey through Western and Central Europe, including the first description of the lands of the West Slavs. Ibrahim was one of the Radhanites, Jewish traders whose routes connected the distant corners of the then-known world. They traversed the lands of Christians, Muslims, and pagans, reaching as far as India and even China, venturing where no one else dared to go. The year 951. Spain, under the rule of the Caliphate of Córdoba, is thriving, one of the main centers of science and culture. Ibrahim ibn Yaqub sets off northward. He will travel through the Spanish kingdom of Castile and dozens of realms in what is now France and Germany, reaching the very edges of known maps. Beyond them lies the land of an unexplored people, the Slavs. The lands of the Slavs stretch continuously from the Syrian Sea to the ocean in the north. Generally speaking, the Slavs are quarrelsome and violent, and, were it not for their discord, no nation could match them in strength. They are particularly devoted to agriculture. Their trade extends by land and sea to the Rus and Constantinople. Women, once married, do not commit adultery. However, a maiden who falls in love with a man goes to him and satisfies her desire. If a husband marries a girl and finds her to be a virgin, he says to her, "If there were anything good in you, men would have desired you, and you surely would have chosen someone to take your virginity." He then sends her away and releases himself from her. The lands of the Slavs are the coldest of all lands. The harshest frosts occur when the nights are moonlit and the days are clear. When people exhale, layers of ice form on their beards like glass. Famine in these northern lands does not arise from drought, but from excessive moisture and cold. Their kings are currently four: Peter I, king of the Bulgars; Boleslav, king of Prague and Krakow; Mieszko, king of the north, Duke of Poland; Nachon, ruler of the west, Duke of the Obodrites. As for the land of Boleslav, traveling from the city of Prague to the city of Krakow takes 3 weeks. To the south, it borders the lands of the Hungarians. The city of Prague is built of stone and limestone. It is the wealthiest in goods among the cities of the region. Merchants come to it from Krakow, the Rus and Slavs bringing goods, while from Hungarian lands arrive Muslims, Jews, and Hungarians, also with goods and trade weights. They export slaves, tin, and all kinds of furs. These lands are the best among the northern lands and the richest in food supplies. In Prague, they make saddles, bridles, and hastily made, fragile shields used in their lands. In the lands of Bohemia, they also produce lightweight scarves of an extremely fine fabric resembling mesh, which have no practical use. They also have numerous vessels that constitute a significant part of their wealth and serve as a form of currency. They are exchanged for wheat, flour, horses, gold, silver, and all other goods. One peculiarity is that the people of Bohemia, Czechs, are dark-skinned with black hair, and fair complexions are rare among them. As for the land of Mesko, it is the most extensive of all Slavic lands. It abounds in food, meat, honey, farmland, and fish. The taxes he collects take the form of trade weights and are allocated to the wages of his warriors. Each of them receives a specified amount of these resources every month. Mieszko has 3,000 armored warriors divided into units, and 100 of his men are worth 100 of others. He provides them with clothing, horses, weapons, and everything they need. If one of them has a child, The ruler ensures its upbringing, regardless of gender. When they come of age, he gives them a spouse and pays a dowry to the girl's father. If it is a daughter, he marries her off and also gives a dowry to her father. Among the Slavs, the bridal gift is substantial, and the practice resembles that of the Berbers. If a man has 2 or 3 daughters, they are a source of wealth for him, whereas the birth of sons leads to impoverishment. Their kings keep their women hidden and are jealous of them. Sometimes a man has 20 wives, or even more. To the east of Mieszko lies the land of the Rus, and to the north, the Prussians. Their settlements lie by the ocean. The Prussians speak a distinct language and do not understand the speech of their neighbors. They are famous for their bravery. When an army attacks them, none of them waits for reinforcements, but fights alone with a sword until he perishes. The Rus cross over on ships from the west to raid the Prussians. To the west of them lies the City of Women. It has its own lands and slaves, and its inhabitants become pregnant by their slaves. If one of them gives birth to a boy, she kills him. These women ride horses, personally take part in wars, and are distinguished by their strength and ferocity. To the west of this city dwells a certain Slavic tribe called the Veleti. They inhabit forests belonging to Mieszko's lands, in the part close to the west and north. They possess a powerful city by the ocean with 12 gates. There is a harbor there where they use split boats. They wage war against Mesko, and their military strength is great. They have no king and do not submit to a single ruler. They are governed by elders and clan leaders. To the west of Nakon's land lie Saxony and part of Merman. His lands are characterized by low prices and an abundance of horses, which are exported to other countries. The inhabitants possess full armor, consisting of coats of mail, helmets, and swords. To the south of their main city, Grad, there is another fortress built on a lake with fresh water. The Slavs construct most of their strongholds in this manner. They go to meadows rich in water and thickets, then mark out a circular or rectangular line, depending on the shape and size they wish to give the stronghold. Next, they dig a ditch around it and pile up the excavated earth, reinforcing it with planks and wood in the manner of ramparts, until the wall reaches the desired height. In the wall, they designate a place for a gate, which they position as they see fit. A wooden bridge leads to the stronghold. From the fortress of Garad to the ocean is 11 miles. Armies rarely penetrate deep into Nakon's lands, except with great difficulty, as his entire country is marshy, overgrown and boggy.